Hey folks, Tonester back with another Ace Tanker replay. This time it's Combatineffective in his 132A, which is the Chinese Tier 9 light tank. And it's got an okay gun. The gun handling kind of sucks on it, and it's probably considered one of the less popular light tanks because of it. It does have okay camo. It's better than the Americans. And this is just watch what these tanks do. You know, they need to let him by, and they should be letting him by. So if you're in a game and you got a light tank with you, let him push. You know, let him get around you. But anyway, he gets hit by an STRV, and who is in stealth. And but then he goes ahead and lights a couple of guys up here. So this game is going to be all about peeking and poking, because this map is not designed for light tanks. It might look like it at first, as he's going to go ahead and get a shot and take out his first kill, the enemy WZ. And so there's no light tanks left, and he pulls up into this middle position. But the reason this really is not a very good map for light tanks is it is 3 corridors, essentially. And now I'm platooned with him. I think Jason, or Combat, whatever you want to call yourself, I would have shot at that, at the AMX 5120, I think that is, over there. Let's go ahead and change this so we can see better. Yeah, and the reason is because his turret's really soft, you know. But that's, I really can't complain about how you play this, because you play this about as good as you can. That was the one thing I did watch this replay beforehand. That's the one thing I probably would have said, is just shot selection on stuff that you can pen. So Combat is coming up here. He's going to go to this back section here, and you notice that the enemy has a lot of tanks on the 90 line or 890 line. And so what he's doing is he's getting into a position where he can spot those tanks, because his teammates have now died, right? But he's got a WZ-111 GFT and an STRV in support, and it looks like that Panzer Kampfwagen, whatever it's called, that tank that's a reward tank, is also in support. So he takes a shot knowing he's going to get lit, right? But he pulls back, and of course he's loaded the gold rounds, because there is a lot of heavily armored tanks on this side. And he just waits, right? He's just waiting for the guy to make a mistake. And of course the guy does, and he's able to take him out for 67 more damage. So if you get caught on this corner a lot of times, and that's going to pen the hole every time with gold rounds, but the turret you could pen with standard rounds. But as you see, he is just peeking and poking stuff and trying to get shots where he can. Now this is a hope shot at best, right? Because the accuracy on light tanks, pretty tragic. They're really quite underpowered and very hard to play these days. So he goes in and puts another shot out. So he's just poking when he thinks that they might not be looking at him, right? And not necessarily on cooldown, because if you do it on cooldown, eventually someone's going to blind fire you. And he's being very cautious, pulling out, taking a snapshot, and pulling back. And he's gotten a fair amount of damage in that way. You know, the counter isn't up, but he's got, you know, probably 1,000 damage at least, and he's got 3 kills, and he's supporting his team. So that's the most important thing. Again, some of those shots I wouldn't be taking, you know, because it's just going to prove that you're still there. Sometimes it's better just not to shoot for a while, but like I said, I really cannot complain about how he played this game, because he carried this side of the map. You'll see that I'm in the middle there, over towards the Abbey, fighting a 263. and you'll see my results at the end of the game. But this is really all about combat. Now, he's trying to see if he can get a shot, and he does sort of have a shot on the pike nose, but I agree with not firing that, right? He's way better off waiting for a good shot, and he gets one on the, what is that, the Object 705. So it's currently 8-6, so he's got really no reason to push the action. And we see this Object 705 has decided he does not want this fight. So he's taking off, right? And Combat pulls back out, gets another shot in, takes a shot in return. But watch what he does. He's smart enough to know that he's got the reload beat, and he's able to take out the 705. So that right there was using his health as armor, right? Now, I'm not saying that it was good to take that shot of damage, but it was okay because it's the end of the game. And you see how patient he is in attempting to get a penning shot. So what he does now is he tracks the guy. He knows the guy is the last guy alive, and he wants to get that lovely assist damage, right? And so the TD is blocking his shot. So what's he do? He retracts him right before the enemy is killed. Unfortunately, I don't believe that he got the experience for that. Oh, you know what? It might not show up. It might not be set up right now. I had a hard time getting this replay working. So anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at the after action report on this. Okay, here we are at the after action report. Ace Tanker. No big medals, but Ace Tanker is a good enough medal for me. We played quite a few games yesterday, and this was our only Ace Tanker of the day. So congratulations, Combat. So Combat was first by experience with 1168, which is extremely low for a tier 9 tank to get an Ace Tanker, but it kind of shows you that this is not a very good tank, quite honestly. He did 2,400 damage, 4 kills, and he ended up firing 18 shots, 17 hits, 10 pins. That's not uncommon for this tank, and especially when you're fighting heavies. 2,471 damage and 600 to player's assistance. So that's about 3K combined, which is very, very low for a tier 9 tank. But again, the tank is just not a very competitive tank. And in the current meta, you're way better off playing a fast medium or a medium with some armor or a heavy these days. But at any rate, he lost a ton of credits because he fired a lot of gold, but I don't think that Combat cares. He ended up with 1,300 total XP. He does not have a premium account. Even with a premium account, I think he probably would have lost, 20,000 credits or something. 60K spent in ammo. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. Please send your replays in. I am trying to put replays up more often, 2 or 3 times a week at least. I was doing it every day, but right now I'm running 2 companies and I just really can't do that. So again, I appreciate you guys watching. We will catch you on the next one. Toadster out.